What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks MLB. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. I don't know why I was smiling at this introduction. I'm dead inside. I got everything wrong you could possibly get wrong this morning. Hopefully, the evening window of baseball games treats me a little bit better, but lost over 8.5 Ks on Ohtani by the hook. He gave up 5 earned to Oakland in that spot. Didn't even bet the Angels, even though they come through at times. But the worst beat of the entire season, Atlanta-Miami. Minter gives up 5 to the Finns there in the frickin' 9th inning. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It was absolutely gut-wrenching. 99.1% probability of winning that bet going into the 9th inning. And then, of course, they put up 5. So the over of 8.5 hits. So that was painful. I hope you guys just didn't wake up in time and put in those bets. That would be ideal. But you know what? Mama said there'll be days like this. There'll be days like this, my mama said. And you know what? You got to put on the bootstraps. You got to go back to work. You got to suck it up. Face the music, do all those things. Actually, face the music's more like negative. But either way, I'm ready to rock for you today. A lot of research, a lot of time put in. I'm excited about this 14-game slate on Friday. And then FanDuel Sportsbook, Friday, FanDuel, Friday, FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook has $5 going. Get $150 in bonus bets right now when you sign up at the link below. Oh, I just almost knocked over all my stuff. That would have been bad. But either way, get $150 in bonus bets. Pretty tough to beat that offer, but it's also identical over at DraftKings. So if you don't have DraftKings Sportsbook, sign up for that in the video description box below. So many things showing up in that video description box below now. Click on it. Go take a look. See if there's something you can take advantage of, because taking advantage of these promotions from Sportsbooks, if you haven't signed up yet, one of the easiest ways to start building that bankroll right from the get-go. So if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. And this offer is only available if you're 21 and over. But that's all I got for you here at the intro. I'm sure we'll talk about another sponsor I'm excited to talk about per usual, but 14 games, lots of baseball to get to. Let's get to the picks. Anybody remember those Bud Light commercials back today? And Twins. Yeah, my Minnesota Twins, they're starting to, look like a baseball team, and part of that is just Joey Gallo being healthy. It's kind of useful. Said he'd be good. I didn't know he was going to be this good. But Jordan Lyles on the mound here for Kansas City, going up against Pablo Lopez, who, for all intents and purposes, him and Joe Ryan have just been outrageously good. I think our starting staff might be better than I was anticipating coming into this year, because we got ourselves a stud. But Jordan Lyles on hand is not. A .530 expected slugging, 0-4 in the season, 17.6% K rate. You look at this four-seamer combo with the sinker curve, it's not very effective. It's getting hit up, and I expect it to continue to get hit up. And Pablo Lopez has just been downright special. A 32.9% hard hit percentage, 194 expected batting average, 32.2% K rate. My God. So my thing is that it's supposed to be 55 degrees there in Minnesota on April 28th. I don't know. Why everybody doesn't live in the South is beyond me. Actually, that's not true. It's a lovely place. It's my homeland. I love my Minnesota Twins. Just cold as shit. But I'm looking at Minnesota, and I think Pablo Lopez, and then our bullpen, turning it over, Lopez and Lopez. Good stuff. Very excited about what we have going in that department. The temperature should keep the ball well within the ballpark. Doesn't look like it's too gusty there. Kansas City doesn't really have a whole lot of ammunition on their side. So as long as my Minnesota Twins don't put up a 6 or a 7 spot and Kansas City doesn't put up 1 or 2 with it, the under of 8 projects out really nicely for me in this spot. I think it's a pretty easy add to our card. Good way to get it going. Under 8 runs. Let's ride. Baltimore and Detroit is up next, and it's the law firm of Rodriguez and Rodriguez. That'll be fun. Grayson Rodriguez, that version for the Baltimore Orioles. And somehow, some way, Eduardo Rodriguez has reinvented some things, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what's different. We'll talk through him in a second, but Grayson Rodriguez, starting with the road pitcher, 286 expected batting average. He's got great K stuff. I will say the 28.7% K rate, I really like that changeup slider, the combination coming off of that four-seamer. He's not getting barreled up very hard, but when he does, it's a 46.2% hard hit percentage. So you're living on a prayer. The main thing, of course, is that when you're a right-handed pitcher and you get to face Detroit, life is all roses. A 67 WRC plus and just a 114 ISO. Also, Javier Baez got scratched again, so pay attention to his status for Friday. But then Erod, my God, Erod, once upon a time, back with the Boston Red Sox, was one of the unluckiest pitchers, period, in baseball. Last year, it was kind of the inverse, where I think he got a little bit luckier based on his 4.20 expected ERA and 4.05 ERA. Oh my God. A 2.68 expected ERA and a 2.32 actual ERA right now. The four-seamer, man, this thing, it's generating a decent enough whiff rate, and then that cutter just comes along with a 31.3% whiff rate. Pretty wild stuff. I don't really know exactly what to make of it because, well, I didn't expect this from him, but the velocity's up nearly half a mile per hour on the four-seamer. I mean, I'm looking at the Detroit money line. Yeah, I think there might be something to mine out of that with how good Erod's been in the early going of this season. It's another lefty. Gunnar Henderson, my home run call from yesterday, didn't even end up in the lineup against Joey Wentz, so riddle me that, Batman. They put Cedric Mullins at the top of it, left on left, so I don't know what's going on with him. We'll renegotiate another day, but Detroit money line, that's going to be the lean for this one because, again, kind of want to be seeing if Baez is there or not. I got to do it for the people. We're going to Miami. Oh, Mahimo, Ami. It's beautiful. I would love to go down there again. It was good stuff. Just, don't go out till 4 a.m. with your friends. It's fantastic, but it's very unhealthy, and it's not the lifestyle you should be living all the time. Actually, yeah, it is. I would love to. I'm just going to talk in hushed, quiet tones because I'm married. But Jesus Luzardo on the mound for Miami going up against Marcus Stroman. 26.1% K rate for Marcus Stroman. We have seen him. That K rate against lefties has been up there, and you're going to get a lot of them now. One of them does not strike out. Luis Arraez, a 4.7% K rate. Best in baseball. He's unbelievable at that. I miss you. Come home to Minnesota. Miss you. Really sucks. Jazz Chisholm up there too. Hasn't been very good so far this season, but I expect him to start figuring it out going forward. But that's another lefty that I think you're going to see a lot of strikeouts with. 37.8% K rate. A little bit broken at the plate. Got some approach issues at the moment, but I think, Marcus Stroman's just been really, really good. Fantastic ballpark. Terrible team. Great spot there. And Jesus Luzardo on the other side. He gets the far more difficult matchup, but he is probably, for all intents and purposes, the guy with the better stuff. Yeah, just is what it is. 291 xWOBA, 27.4% K rate, just a 7.7% walk rate. I love the sinker. I love the slider, especially coming off of that four-seamer. Nice to see the dispersion, and then the changeup could be, it's okay. Jesus Luzardo, though, I really like his stuff going forward. Main thing with the Cubbies, does Cody Bellinger get back in the mix? We'll talk about Max Muncy. He had a baby, too. His wife had a baby. He shouldn't tell her that. You know what I mean. Anyway, Miami, we're definitely looking at no runs down here. 7.5, but I actually like the under of that. I think that's a big number for this game. I've got it closer to about 6.5. Full run. Yeah, we like that. Another under that gets on the board early. We'll make up some time with this one. It's pretty disgusting, and there's no line out available because I'm pretty sure books don't even know what to do with themselves. It's Rich Hill on the mound, the southpaw, the 100-year-old southpaw with a 577 expected slugging. Now, Stone Garrett may be back up in the bigs for good. I would hope so. He's been pretty good for Washington. That's a problem in that lineup there for him, but otherwise it's pretty tame. Outside of him, Candelario's been terrible, just like he was in Detroit. Joey Meneses has not been who you would want him to be. He needs to be the dude for Washington. Not that we expected anything from Washington. Now they have Michael Chavis, who's going to be up there. Maybe he has revenge in his heart going up against his former team in the Pirates. But Chad Kuhl is just, what's cooler than being cool? Literally anything else besides being Chad Kuhl. A 408 xWOBA, a 614 expected slugging is a disgusting number, and just a 16.5% K rate so far this season. He is one of the worst pitchers in all of baseball, as evidenced by his 7.48 expected ERA, which is actually worse than his 7.36 ERA. So, yeah, not good. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure when this number comes out, Pittsburgh, they're going to be pretty heavy little favorites, even with Rich Hill on the mound. Do you want to be doing that at minus 140, minus 150 with the Bucks? I sure don't. But I'm going to lean that way anyway. There you go. Pittsburgh money line, just because Washington is that inept that if you ever see me backing Chad Kuhl at a number that isn't plus 200 or greater, just please cut me off the air immediately. I don't need to be doing this anymore. The Seattle Mariners going north. They're going north. They're normally bordering Canada anyway. British Columbia, have you been? It's gorgeous. Lots of roses. Lots of flower gardens up there. Victoria, British Columbia. Go get tea. Kick it. Take a ferry up from Seattle. But anyway, we're talking about Toronto, so completely other side of the country. Good talk. Glad we had it. I'm just saying, Luis Castillo has been fantastic. He'll be on the mound here for Seattle, and George Springer got dinged up. I will be paying very close attention to him being in that lineup or not, because then that creates a Brandon Belt that has to be forced into duty in a DH spot, and maybe somebody else in the outfield. I mean, specifically what you're getting is Dalton Varsho, who will for sure be in the lineup. Whit Merrifield probably has to be for sure in this lineup. And then you're getting Kevin Kiermaier. Kevin Biggio can play some outfield. Ugh. Those aren't great options going up against Luis Castillo. Just shuts down everybody, both sides of the plate. 30.4% K rate, 260 xWOBA. My God, I like his stuff. Alek Manoah, though, what is going on, dude? I mean, he got bigger. He's up there. Yeah. I don't know. He seems like he just didn't do anything this postseason. The velocity is down. A 6.99 expected ERA is not what you were expecting for Alek Manoah, who was expected to be one of the studs here for the Toronto Blue Jays. And he has been anything but. He has been truly the weak point for the Blue Jays through and through, both from a lineup perspective and a pitching perspective. I looked through some of the horizontal movement. That's not really an issue, but some of the vertical drop numbers are a little bit concerning when you start talking about last season, a four-seamer that had some movement, and now there's just nothing. 14.9 inches of vertical movement drop. Compare that to last season's numbers, where he was primarily throwing the sinker, and it was 21.1 inches of drop with it. 14.3 there. I'm just saying. It's pretty interesting stuff. He's running into some issues at the moment. I'm not sure entirely what to make of it, but I do know what to make of a 6.99 expected ERA. You target it, especially when you get plus money. What are we doing here? I only have one lock on the board, but this damn near was the second one. The only reason that I didn't end up locking it is, well, I only wanted one. I got just smacked upside the head on Thursday. So Seattle money line, a like-ish lock, if you will. Hey everybody, quick little reminder for you. If you haven't signed up at FanDuel Sportsbook, what are you waiting for? It's one of the biggest books. I refer to it all the time in these odds because, again, they have some of the best home run juice, or some of the best home run odds with the lowest juice that you could be asking for out there on the marketplace. It is really difficult to beat the home run books over a long period of time unless you are at FanDuel Sportsbook. And why do I say that? Because when you're talking the difference between plus 250 for Mike Trout to hit home run and plus 280 or plus 300, that is gigantic over a 162 game MLB season. Gigantic. I can't emphasize it enough. You always want to be shopping for the best odds, and it just seems routinely like FanDuel Sportsbook, their home run odds are better than anybody else across the board. Now, Caesars has some pretty good ones from time to time. BetMGM as well has had a couple, especially when you start getting deeper into the line with some plus 1,000 guys and the 7, 8, 9 hole where maybe there's a decent flyer you can take. I thought about Max Kepler today. I did not pull the trigger on Max Kepler, but you simply bet $5. Get $150 in bonus bets right now when you sign up in the link below. Again, this is going to be expiring. They extended the deadline until May 15th. Yay! But don't wait until then. Get your $150 in bonus bets. Fire it up in the MLB streets. And 2 NBA games going on Friday as well. 2 gigantic NBA games. Lakers, Grizzlies. And then you also got Golden State, Sacramento. Perhaps the last rendition of that dance. You want to be checking out NBA Lindy's, and then you want to be firing that $5, getting $150 in bonus bets. Only if you're 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-522-4700. Alrighty, y'all, back to the picks. We are heading to the Mets up here next, and a pretty interesting duo of pitchers on the mound in this one. 2 southpaws that, well, one's been really good. One's been very disappointing. Max Fried going up against David Peterson. Let's start with the home guy here. David Peterson, 7.36 ERA. Wow. That was not what you were expecting from David Peterson coming off of last season. No doubt about it. 3.94 expected ERA, but we had a longer sample size of him struggling in the big leagues when he was 24, 25 back in his 2020, 2021 seasons. And then mean, he just found one really, really good year, which can happen. Now, the walks are down. That's a plus. But the expected ERA at 5.48 is just too hefty. I understand he's getting a little bit unlucky, but that's still a terrible number to be staring at. And the hard contact is definitely going to start catching up to him even a little bit more based on these numbers. Just a 38.5% hard hit percentage. But the fastball, the slider, he's really not generating the kind of swings and misses he did last year. And yeah, he's still got a 25.6% K rate, but that's down over 2% so far. Yes, limited sample, but it's not looking so good. Not looking so good in the early going here for David Peterson. And on the other side of this one, Max Fried, it's only looked good. A 19.5% hard hit percentage is the lowest in baseball at the moment. A 210 xWOBA, 233 expected slugging, just a 20% K rate. And that's always been my main thing with Max Fried, but I've always liked him a lot more than some of the other pitchers outside of course, Spencer Strider, who's an absolute god. And if you don't think so, them's fighting words. Like, the man's outrageous. Outrageous. But I really like the money line play here on the Atlanta Braves. Now, the lineup is way better for Atlanta. The starting pitcher is way better, and the juice is not all that prohibitive. If you're putting together a parlay and you're not clicking on this, I don't know what to tell you. Minus 132. I would pay up to minus 150 for it. I bet it moves north, so bet it while you can. FanDuel Sportsbook, best line, minus 132. Fire it up. A little bit of an exotic play for you coming up in this one. Ooh, Friskinati. We've got the Cleveland Guardians going up against the Boston Red Sox here in Fenway. Shane Bieber, he's very good at pitching baseballs. Nick Pivetta, he's a lot worse at pitching baseballs, although he's had some okay results from time to time this season. It's been more box score than it's been anything else. The strikeouts have been up. Now, he still has a 4.58 ERA, 1.37 whip, but 7 strikeouts against Milwaukee last time out, 2 6 strikeout outings against Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh. But all of those teams are generally going to be striking out. And so kind of what you're going to be expecting. You know what Cleveland doesn't do? They do not strike out. But I want to highlight one batter in particular in this game, and a guy who, it was kind of strange to me, wasn't in the lineup as often at the beginning of the year. And I like to think of Francona as one of the best managers in baseball, but I mean, this has been some weird stuff going on with Josh Naylor, and I think it's pretty explainable. Now, on the season, if you have him in year long, you're probably a little bit frustrated with a 197 average. There were times that he was basically doing the platoon at the very beginning of the season, which, again, he should be playing almost every single day, but had like 3 days that he didn't play. Then he played both ends of the doubleheader, has been pinch hit for in some spots, comes in and does the pinch hitting, when he's not facing a righty here. But going up against Pivetta, he gives up a lot of power. That has always been his profile for things. And I'm not sure if this is going to be a half line or a 1.5 line. So this is on you. FanDuel Sportsbook, you can bet 2 hits or more. It'll just say 2+ hits, and you can bet it accordingly to that or things of that nature. But 1.5 total bases is kind of the main way to look at it. I assume we're going to be getting really nice plus money. I'm going to gauge it tomorrow on the overall 1.5 total bases, but I also want to bet him home run. 2 different bets. He has a 197 batting average this season. Yeah, that seems frustrating, but look at this. You go through his hard hit profile. He has the second highest expected batting average on the Cleveland Guardians. Yes, higher than Steven Kwan, higher than Ahmed Rosario, only behind J Ram, of course, but a 280 expected batting average, 508 expected slugging. He's been getting so unlucky. I think this has been showing up in the numbers that we've been getting on Josh Naylor. So he only has 3 jacks on the season. I think he makes it 4, going right around pesky pole against Nick Pivetta, calling it first at bat. Can I call a first at bat for Josh Naylor? Covers the 1.5 total bases. And hey, regardless, I think he's hitting the ball pretty hard. I think we want to be backing him above market. A lot of explanation for that one. Not so much here. We got Zach Eflin. Teflon. I don't know. It was a weird way of saying it. He's been fantastic with them. I don't know where that went with Philly. But again, Tampa Bay, they're very smart and very good at doing what they do. Lucas Giolito on the other side of this one, who starting to see some actual results once again. Kind of encouraging if you're a White Sox fan. Well, nothing's encouraging if you're a White Sox fan right now. They're in the absolute doldrums. 4.50 ERA, though. 1.18 whip. Something doesn't add up there. K rate's starting to climb back up again. 23.5%. I'm okay with what's going on there. And then Zach Eflin on the other side. I have no idea how he's doing what he's doing, but he's doing it. just a 1.6% walk rate, walking absolutely nobody with a 267 xWOBA. He's been fantastic and just another dude that Tampa Bay's developed into a good pitcher, but they're minus 140 favorites here against Lucas Giolito, who's starting to show signs of improvement. Not really my favorite spot. I think we can kind of avoid this one, move along with our lives. Would it shock me if you saw either one of these pitchers get absolutely destroyed here? It wouldn't. But that kind of creates a level of variance that I don't want to be dealing with on a 14-game slate. Lots of better spots to be going to. I'm going to be going the under of 8.5 as my lean here, simply because I think the pitchers are showing out. I think they're probably the better spots. But again, I think this whole game is just unappealing on the whole. Thought about a side, thought about the total, but under 8.5, as much as it's the best bet on the board for me right now, not all that appealing. Off to Texas, where Globe Life Stadium has had the roof open a little bit more often. Just want to throw that out there for anybody who cares. You should care for this game because Jacob deGrom's pitching. Going up against Cole Schmidt here, and this is a game that I can't believe that I'm not just jamming at minus 180 with the Texas Rangers, especially Cole Schmidt, right-handed pitcher. What have I been talking about with Texas constantly? Their lineup destroys righties. A 124 WRC plus, a 22% K rate, so pretty low there. Not striking out a ton. It's 20th best, well, 10th best in baseball, thinking about it the inverse way. But I absolutely think Cole Schmidt is going to get a little bit better than what we've seen. A 6.30 ERA is very much inflated by some home run issues. He has given up 2 homers in 2 of his 5 outings and at least 1 in 4 of 5. That is a lot of home runs to be giving up early going, and he's got a good enough pedigree where I think he's going to start figuring some stuff out. And I don't know if I want to go out of my way to pick on the Yankees lineup ever at minus 180. And I know it's Jacob deGrom. We're talking about legitimately the best pitcher over the course of the last 3 years when healthy. Like, no questions asked, best pitcher in baseball when healthy. And it's starting to show up again. He's starting to show up in pretty much everything across the board, where I have no concerns about him being that dude for this team with a 217 xWOBA, 42.2% K rate. And that's the other thing. Clark Schmidt's still getting strikeouts, 26.1% K rate. I think there's some strikeouts that are going to start showing up. Sandy Leon's in the catcher spot today, but I expect that to be primarily Mr. Jonah Heim, who doesn't strike out at all for a catcher, 16.4% K rate. He should be the main catcher for this game. He DH'd for Thursday. I'm talking in circles. All I'm getting at is that I don't find all that much appealing in this one. Maybe a deGrom K ladder? Maybe. We'll find out. I don't know. This is such a weird spot. Minus 180 Texas money line. That's where I'm going to be leaning. Feel like I should be jamming this, but I am not. Think we're just going to hit the brakes on targeting the Yankees lineup. We also feel weird. Yeah. Next game, please. Ooh, we get to talk more home runs. The Los Angeles Angels coming off of a bajillion runs in every game with Oakland. That was some wild stuff. At least we got most of it. Like we hammered that game. That over of 9.5 on Wednesday was really, really nice. It buoyed my day there. Thursday just looking awful. That's okay. We're going to rebound here, and we're going to do it with Mr. Hunter Renfroe. But first, we should talk through the pitching. 2 southpaws here, too. Wade Miley going, he's just being Miley for the Milwaukee Brewers. And then Tyler Anderson, Mr. Anderson, going for the Angels. Neither one of these guys are my favorites. They shouldn't be your favorites. I don't think they're their parents' favorites. Well, they probably are because they're the major league pitchers in the family. But Tyler Anderson, a 12% K rate, woof. 487 xWOBA, woof, woof, woof. Wade Miley, he limits the hard contact too, 33.3%, but just an 18.7% K rate. And if you're not going to be missing bats with this Los Angeles Angels lineup, you're going to be running into some trouble when you're a lefty. Yeah, we're talking about just a ridiculous lineup. The Angels, huge splits between righties and lefties. A 130 WRC plus against lefties on the season. Just a 19.7% K rate. That is low. 5th lowest in baseball. That is good stuff. And there's one guy in particular. His name's Hunter Renfroe. He came to fruition for us the other night. Better than plus 400. Now, I don't expect that number this time around. Sorry, I was getting an itchy nose. But plus 350, I would be so down. I would be so down with Hunter Renfroe here in this spot. Half unit play. Normally it's like a quarter unit, half unit you're looking at for some of these home run numbers, but I would be playing a lot at Hunter Renfroe. I could maybe talk myself into a unit there on Hunter. Absolute lefty killer throughout his entire career, and now batting fifth routinely in that Los Angeles Angels lineup. Tons of protection in front of him with Ohtani, Trout, Rendon, Ward if he ever starts to join the party again. That would be cool. My year-long team would appreciate it. But Hunter Renfroe, 440 expected slugging, 50.7% hard hit percentage, and just destroys lefties. Here you are, Hunter Renfroe to homer, my favorite home run prop, other than Josh Naylor, of course. Off to Houston for, if you looked at this on the outside coming in here, you would expect a low total, like 6.5, 7 last year. Kind of strange to see it at 7.5 here with Aaron Nola and Framber Valdez on the mound facing each other. We'll start with the Phillies' Aaron Nola. He's the one who's had a little bit of concerning stuff so far this season. A 5.40 ERA, a 1.34 whip. That's with 5 starts. And a couple of them were cream puff matchups. We're talking Cincinnati. He got hit up, like not completely destroyed. Cincinnati went completely empty towards the back half of that one, but still gave up 2 earned. You want to start seeing Aaron Nola shut some teams down, but he's given up at least 2 earned in every single start, 3 earned in 4 of 5. What are we doing, Aaron? You're supposed to be one of the best pitchers in baseball, and so far it's pretty explainable. Just an 18.6% K rate. That is major regression. Now, it's early. It's only 5 starts. He's been a slow starter in the past, but a 2.74 expected ERA last year with a 29.1% K rate. To have that fall off to a 4.25 expected ERA and an 18.6% K rate, that's a little bit concerning to say the very least. Oh, and the fastball down over a mile per hour. So it's something I'm going to be paying very close attention to, especially against a potent offense here like you get with Houston. And because of those concerns, I'm definitely leaning towards the Houston Astros side of this one with Framber Valdez, who's just been special. He's so good. And now his ground ball rate has never made sense to me. He averages under a degree of so it's 0.4 degrees of average launch angle. That is a ball going directly into the ground over and over again. A 65.5% ground ball rate is actually the lowest it's been since 2021 so far. So, there's room for improvement, I suppose. That's absurd to say. However, the 4.19 expected ERA and 2.25 ERA might be giving people a little bit of false hope that he's just going to breeze through this Phillies lineup, which I think has some pieces that can get problematic from the right side. Now, they're, of course, missing Rhys Hoskins. They're missing Bryce Harper, who would be in against lefties anyway. But you still get the Trey Turner. You still get a number of the pieces where it's not Harrison, but you get Alec Boehm for sure, who's now moved over to first base so that he doesn't have to throw across the diamond because that's really hard to watch. Houston, -1.5, going to be the lean, but I think we're better off just skipping this game altogether. It's Friday night. Let's open a Coors. We're going to Coors Field. It's Arizona facing the Colorado Rockies. Yeah, you know what that means. It's like the pinball machine of MLB. New rule changes and everything. Now, it was a little bit disappointing when Pittsburgh came to town. Thought there were going to be some back and forth action. It was basically Pittsburgh doing all of the damage, put up tons of runs. And now, this Arizona lineup, Corbin Carroll's really freaking good. Can we just say that? Have you watched him play baseball yet this year? He is special. Kyle Freeland's on the mound. Now, at least that's good for him. Left on left a little bit, but Arizona, Christian Walker, I expect positive regression coming for him. Ketel Marte, it's great in Colorado. Most people hit great in Colorado if you're any good at baseball. So that makes sense. Lourdes Gurriel starting to play a little bit better baseball. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be Kyle Freeland coming into this one with his 15.9% K rate, 15.4 degree average launch angle. You have an ability to, you're just giving the ball up in the air in Coors. Ball could fly far. That's why you're seeing an 11.5 total. But Merrill Kelly on the other side, this guy, it's been a little bit disappointing. And I used to back him quite a bit because I think he's undervalued by the marketplace just for him being a good pitcher. Last year, a 3.62 expected ERA, 3.37 ERA, 22% K rate. Will never wow you with the stuff, but his changeup and fastball combo is really, really nice. This year, though, a 5.70 expected ERA, a 3.42 ERA. That is getting by really by the hair on your chinny chin. Like, we're talking massive negative regression could be in store for him. And that makes me a little bit worried. Now, maybe Maybe he can start getting those strikes up again, and maybe he can stop walking dudes for the first time in his career. A 15.7% walk rate. He's never had over an 8% walk rate in his major league season. So, or four big league seasons. He didn't get to baseball till much later, so just throwing it out there. But Merrill Kelly, I expect runs in this one, my guy. I'm sorry. We're going to have to target you. I'm not going to be biased against you. You just haven't been that good to start off the season. And Kyle Freeland, you've really never been good unless you've been out of Coors, like most pitchers in Colorado. So over 11.5, like play pretty instantly. One of the better ones that you can get to on the board. 11.5. Let's go. I don't even want to talk about this game. Cincinnati, Oakland. We don't have an Oakland starting pitcher. I have absolutely no idea who it could be. I haven't seen any news that they called anybody else up. There's this Drew Rucinski fellow. He had a hamstring issue. He's been pitching in Vegas here for a while. I think there's an opportunity to maybe fire that one up, but I don't know. I don't think he's very good. And Luis Cessa's definitely not good with his 10.80 ERA in 4 starts. Now, 2 of those starts were just horrific. He gave up 11 runs to Philly. I don't know if you watched that one, but they made him eat that start. It was kind of mean. He had to pitch 88 pitches. His highest pitch total of the season came when they were already down like 9-0, and then he gave up 2 more. It was ridiculous. But I got to lean to the Oakland side. We just saw him put up a bunch of runs. And what are we doing here? I need to see a number. There's no way that I want to be betting this. Like, this is just painful. This is really, really painful. If it's a bullpen game for Oakland, that could be a different situation. So lots to be determined. As always, hit me up at Eric Lindquist on Twitter or in the comment section below, or the best place, Premium Discord. I'm always answering questions all day long. People can vouch for that. I'm doing that. Here at OddsShopper, we have the best tools for the job, because that's always what you want. You want the best tools for the job at hand. Well, when taking care of your manly region, let me just say, there is no better company to trust than Manscaped. And I know this from experience. I have the Lawnmower 4.0. I have all of the fixings from the Platinum package. I have all the fixing from the Beard Hedger Pro Kit. And I don't even have a great beard. It's really, really shambly. But when I grow out my beard, I trim it down. It has like 20 different lengths that you can use for it. And I haven't nicked myself once, which is a miracle that God knows. But he knows that he's like, Eric, I'm going to make you the worst shaver known to man. And yet somehow I've not nicked myself one time with any of these great offerings. And yet I've saved the best for last. We're talking the Lawnmower 4.0. This thing is absurd. It's waterproof. You can take it in the shower with you. You can clean up every single region. You know, if you want to leave a nice little pocket in the chest region, if you want to have a nice little strip doing the thing, I'm telling you, you can do it all. The Lawnmower 4.0 is it. It is that thing that can take your game to the next level. Just throwing it out there. So, boys, gentlemen, listen to me. This is what you do. You take care of yourself. And when you take care of yourself, people will notice. And that starts with Manscaped. So start using all of the great fixings here with promo code Stochastic. Get that Performance Package 4.0 or the Platinum Package 4.0. Everything you could possibly want. The Crop Exfoliator, the Crop Gel makes everything feel, smell beautiful, nice. I gotta probably go take care of myself now too. Get 20% off, free shipping with promo code STOKASTIC. Thank you so much to Manscaped. Not just for, doing this, but because I want to take care of you. And here you are. In the video description box below, click on that link. Head to manscaped.com right now. That was fun. Let's go back to the picks. One game to go. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell as we get ourselves out of here. And yes, I just covered Manscaped. Save the best for last right there for the people. So check it out. But I saved the best for last here in this one as well. We have the St. Louis Cardinals going up against the Los Angeles Dodgers, and Jack Flaherty on the mound going up against Dustin May. These are two pitchers that I think long-term you look at, you got to be pretty happy with what both these teams have, but there are some major issues that I have with both of them. Let's go through it. Jack Flaherty, 228 expected batting average, 379 expected slugging, good stuff. But just a 23.2% K rate and a 17% walk rate. This guy has been getting so damn lucky not to be getting blown up this season. It's not even funny. We're talking games with 7, 6, 3, 2, tons of walks. tons of walks. You know what eventually starts happening? Those turn into 2 and 3 and grand slams, 2 and 3 run homers. I mean, it's just wild that Jack Flaherty has had as many guys left on base as what he has this season. And Dustin May on the other side, I said this at the beginning of the year, and I still believe it. His four-seamer sinker combo, the curveball he throws to try to get out some of those lefties. I mean, he has a devastating pitch mix. But so far this season, I do have some red flags on him, specifically when I look at the curveball. I see the vertical movement not really moving a whole lot. Now, the horizontal movement has been out of control like you would expect it to be. It's been a lot of improvement that we've seen there versus average, just way, way above the major league average. However, we still are not seeing swings and misses with anything. And I don't quite understand it. He throws it upper 90s, 97.4 mile per hour, average velocity on the four-seamer. That, though, my friends, is down. It's down over half a mile per hour from last year. And part of that, I believe, is because he's being asked to pitch a little bit longer into games. I think when you know you're going out and you're throwing 60, 70 pitches, you can let it loose a little bit more. He's now going up to 96 pitches against the Cubs, 87 pitches against the Mets. He's been ramped up here from the start of the season, and I think those strikeout totals are just going to keep dipping off a little bit. He's at a .92 whip. He's a very good pitcher. But out of any game environment we have on this slate, I think the weather there in Los Angeles is going to be as warm as it gets. So I look at these two lineups, and I just don't want to be screwing with them if I'm trying to back a specific pitcher here in this one. I think both of them are way too potent. And a big piece for the Dodgers, Max Muncy, coming off the paternity list on Friday. Yes, he will be in action. You don't want to screw with those new fathers. Oh, baby. They're going to come in with some serious... No, it's kind of a joke. There's something to it, I think. But it's kind of a joke. The main thing is that you get Nolan Gorman there from the left side. I don't want to screw with him. You get Paul DeJong, who now has an 842 expected slugging in the first couple of games, has been hitting the ground running. St. Louis has been looking for this dude for a long time. Tommy Edman, it would be nice if you'd rejoin the party here at some point too. But telling you, Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Gorman, Wilson Contreras, one of the best hitting catchers in baseball, Tyler O'Neill, Alec Burleson, Nolan Arenado's been very disappointing, but I'm just saying everybody else has been insanely good. And the Dodgers, yeah, they've missed out on Cody Bellinger this season. He finally put it together here. But Jason Hayward has a 64.7% hard hit percentage. I expect that 235 expected batting average to start coming up. JD Martinez is murdering baseballs. Freddie Freeman's murdering baseballs. And James Outman has been incredible. And Mookie Betts just starting to get the gears going here again after being out there for a quick second, now playing shortstop. Wild stuff. But just saying, 8.5 runs. Wild to think. But I have this one projected nearly at 10. Nearly. 8.5 runs. I did not expect that when you see the names on the pieces of paper. But generally, that's how it works, friends. Over 8.5 runs at Dodger Stadium. Lock it up. My favorite play on the board for Friday, April 28th. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. You know what to do. Head to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays on the board for Friday. Check out FanDuel Sportsbook if you haven't already. Check out the DraftKings Sportsbook. That's down there as well with the identical bet $5. Get $150 in bonus bets offer. Great stuff. And hey, thanks so much to Manscaped. Happy that they're along for the ride here once again. Check that out. Always fun to do those reads. That's an enjoyable one to talk about from time to time. But I'm going to miss you guys over the weekend. Have a great Saturday and Sunday with my dude, Aton. Give him some love. Give him some thumbs up on the old videos. Until Monday, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Friday.